Then fullback Tommy Gemmell shot from 25 yards out. Gemmell's brilliant goal didn't put new heart into Celtic. The old one was good enough to beat anybody. And how their supporters thanked their stars they'd come to Lisbon. Billy McNeil and his magnificent men earned the thanks and admiration of their native Glasgow, Scotland, and the whole United Kingdom.
They've been the better team. Celtic huffed and puffed. They're a team lacking confidence.
We did the right things. We were absolutely, totally professional. Yet no, we come back with this barrage of absolute hypocrisy.
On the green side of Glasgow, 2021 was meant to be the year Celtic became the first Scottish team to win 10 titles in a row. 9 consecutive titles have been reached twice before, once by Celtic in the 1960s and once by Rangers in the 90s, but this was going to be the first 10 in a row. Led by club icon Neil Lennon after Brendan Rodgers left in late 2019, the Covid-struck 2020 season saw Lennon complete the work Rodgers had started by winning the title with Celtic by 23 points and only losing a single game. Celtic seemed almost untouchable. Cut to 8 months later, and there are dismal multi-million-pound transfer failures, the case of a left-back who breached travel rules for a holiday in Spain without the club's knowledge, public rows with Leader of Scottish Parliament Nicola Sturgeon, and European embarrassment in the Europa League where Celtic managed to concede 19 goals in just 6 group matches. This isn't even including the rampaging supporters demanding change outside Celtic Park as domestic dominance begins to disintegrate. On the 2nd of January 2020, a 2-0 loss to Rangers pretty much confirmed the title was heading to Ibrox. Celtic decided a trip to Dubai during a time where the whole of Scotland is under intense lockdown restrictions would be a smart move, and of course the media picked up on it and the storm grew ever larger. By the time Celtic had returned, Lennon, 2 coaches and 13 players were in isolation, forcing a reserve team to limp to a 1-1 draw the next week with Hibernian. The 9 years of untouched dominance while Rangers were completing their own rebuild should have been enough for Celtic to cement themselves as untouchable rulers of Scottish football. Instead, hubris and complacency from the unchallenged success have been their downfall. This is why Celtic are in such a bad need of a rebuild from top to bottom. There's no doubt the squad has talent, they're so far ahead of other teams in the league that they can play their reserves and still not lose, as mentioned earlier. But to compete with Gerrard's Rangers, they'll need to get their house in order before Rangers have the chance to do what Celtic couldn't and shut out the old firm enemy for good. The Celtic squad has strength in its depth. The issue with this depth is how most of the players are average with very little in terms of standout key players. Of course, Edouard and Ayer are both massive players for the league, but outside of these two, only Callum McGregor and James Forrest would get into the more dominant Celtic teams of the past decade. Realistically, current rumours are saying that Barkas, Kenny, Duffy, Ayer, Lexalt, Christie, Edouard, Elianusi, Dembele and Ncham are all set to leave Celtic this summer. With the pandemic hitting Celtic hard from having no fans inside Celtic Park, it's almost a certainty that Celtic will need to sell to buy this season. With Edouard, Dembele and Ayer all likely to get at least 10 million, there will be a fairly large pot of money to be invested in new players. With these departures, you're most likely going to need to sign new players at right back, centre defensive midfield and striker at a minimum, with most of these signings being cheaper Scottish League or Championship players from England. Aberdeen's Lewis Ferguson would be a good first signing at central defensive midfield. Combined with Callum McGregor, you'd have 2 very hard-working midfielders in a base of a 4-2-3-1. While the very hyped Karamoko Dembele looks likely to leave, Michael Johnson has just as much potential but with fewer likely suitors this summer. Giving Johnson a year to develop would see him being capable of playing at the same level as James Forrest, who would likely be starting for you on the other wing. In attacking midfield, Turnbull has the potential to be the best player in the league, and with the right nurturing he can definitely get there. The issue will be who you replace Edouard with. You could go the route of signing another French forward as Celtic have done with Edouard and Moussa Dembele, with Yanis Antiste at Toulouse and Mizani Maolida at Nice both being options for you to sign. If you're looking to stay Scottish up front, retraining former player Oliver Burke at striker could be the move to sign a cheap and flexible player up front. At just under £2 million for a 6'2" striker with 90 pace, Even as a backup, Oliver Burke is a player you can't miss out on signing. Further back in defence, to replace Loney Kenny, I would recommend looking at Blackburn's Ryan Nyambe. The lure of European football with one of Britain's most supported teams would be hard for him to resist, especially as Nyambe is out of contract in the summer of 2021. Former academy player Aaron Hickey would be a good option at both fullback positions, with the Glasgow-born Hickey now turning out for Bologna, and he can play left and right back. Finally, replacing Christopher Ajer, who is attracting attention from both Milan clubs and Newcastle at centre-back, would be tricky. You could go for Tom McIntyre at Reading to replace Christopher Ajer's aerial ability, but then you'll struggle against faster players. Scott McKenna at Forest has more pace, but he focuses more on winning tackles via his strength than in the air. Tempting Barnsley's Michael Hellick would be definitely possible, with the Tykes needing money desperately and Hellick not having a great affinity for the Yorkshire team. In the background now, I'll show you a clip of my team after a couple of transfer windows. You can see I play a 4-2-3-1. I signed McKenna and Hellick at the back, Nyambe right back, Ferguson and McGregor playing defence midfield as I mentioned. I haven't bought a winger because Forrest and Johnson are both going to develop pretty well. And if you've been watching the match that I put in the background, you'll probably notice that Oliver Burke is actually really dangerous at striker. His height, pace and strength more than outdo the poor technical stats that he has, and I reckon he could get upwards of 20 to 30 goals in the Scottish Premier League if you play him as your lone striker. You'll probably also notice that I kept Barkas and Luxalt because I think despite them being pretty big names, they're also likely to stay and they're not on huge wages on this FIFA. I did manage to earn around £40 million by selling Christopher Ajer to Valencia, Odson Edouard to Wolves, Karamoko Dembele to Watford, Olivier Ncham went to Lyon I think, and Duffy went to West Brom. The outlay of the players I signed, so that's Burke, Ferguson, Hellick, McKenna and Nyambe, was around £15 million, but I had to wait until the first transfer window to get McKenna as he's just joined Nottingham Forest, and the same was true of Oliver Burke, who I had to get from Sheffield United in January. Of course, these are all just examples of players you could sign, and there are thousands of players that you could sign in the FIFA database. The future of Celtic is in your hands, and you can either be the hero responsible for their return to power, or the villain that let them slide to second best in the old firm for a decade. The future is in your hands. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear how you get on with your rebuilds of Celtic. Let me know what you think about the new editing I did at the start too. I tried to make it a bit more interesting with new effects and transitions, but I appreciate if you made it this far into the video. I'm not going to pester you for a like or subscription, I'll just say thank you for making it this far because a lot of people don't. Anyway, that's all I have for today's video, but thank you for watching, and the next one will probably be a video on Rangers. So until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!